I just have to come on here and say Jesus loves you so, so much. Like, literally so much. I feel very tasked or privileged with the understanding to a small degree of the weight of his love for his people. I ask him to show me situations through his eyes, and he's always just instilled in me just this great care and concern for others. But as I've gotten closer with him, I realized that it's just a small burden of the love that he has for you. Like, he is so crazy about whoever you are who's watching this. He is literally thinking about you right now. He's thinking about me right now. He's thinking about all of us. uh, it's a lot. Okay. Yeah, he's thinking about all of us right here and right now, and figuring out ways to try and get your spirit's attention to focus on him or get back to him or whatever the case is, wherever you're at with your walk, or if you don't believe or whatever the case happens to be. He literally loves you so, 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 so much. You are everything to him. You are perfect to him. It might sound crazy because the whole concept of sin, but it doesn't matter because it was dealt with on the cross. Like, he literally sees you as perfect. I don't even know how that's possible, but it just is. Like, he literally loves you so, 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 so much. You are the most beautiful, his favorite. Like, this is why it's like anything you're looking for out there in the world, anything that you can give yourself a version of, peace, happiness, whatever. There's such a deeper version of that found in him, because he is the ultimate creator of all things and the ultimate creator of you. He knows you inside and out. It says what does it say in the word about numbering the hairs on your head? Like, he knows all things concerning you, and he's absolutely crazy about you. You are so beautiful to him. You are so beautiful to him. This is for someone. You are so beautiful. You are so handsome. Whatever. You are perfect the way that you are. The way that he made you. That is how he sees you. And it's so overwhelming. It's so overwhelming. I want to cry, but I can't even cry because it's just... He literally is in love with you. Not he is in love with you. And he wants you. He wants you to know him. That is his deepest desire. He already knows you, but he wants you to know him. And through that knowing of him, everything changes. I don't think he has anything else for me to say, but this was just really... Oh, yes, he does. Sorry. This is really a word for someone who's struggling with depression. That is not your portion. That is not what he wants for you. I can't emphasize enough. I know it's everyone has it. Haha, it's a quirky, funny kind of dark humor. We all got it. We're all suffering. But no. His heart aches that you are hurting. And that's not what He wants for you. That is not your portion. That is not what He wants for you. And His love, believe it or not, you think I'm crazy, think I'm lying, whatever the case is, His love and His light and His truth stands against all the darkness that depression is speaking over you. 100, 1000%. I didn't believe it until I started walking with Him more, and the difference is night and day. Like, this is not my time to talk about me though, but it's just like, wow, I cannot believe I went through that, and I blamed Him, to be honest, and I walked away. And because I wasn't close with Him, I didn't have a relationship with Him. But there's a serious difference between knowing God, knowing about God, and knowing Him on a personal level. Knowing Him because you have a relationship with Him. That's two separate things. Two entirely separate things. I think about how I was pre having a relationship with Him, when I just was a Christian and I was just very religious. Actually, I really was a Christian, but it was by, I had a very religious view of Him and of myself and others and all that. And I walked away because I don't think that's really what it's about. It's not about religion. That's not necessarily of God. That's more of like a man-made construct, but I'm not going to get into all that. I walked away for a period of time, and then He spoke to me. And I'm not going to talk about it too much here because I'm going to talk about it in another video, but when I tell you it felt like it's going to sound kind of bad, but I was almost like reduced to this very small version of myself. It was like I was only spirit in that moment, and it was so overwhelming and just amazing, but also scary, but also it was just so many things. And, sorry. Through that, I was never going to be the same, and, he called me back to Him. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get teary, but I'm thinking about, in my Bible study, we just finished John 20, and I think it's verse 18, John 20, verse 18, Mary sees the Lord after He's resurrected, and she says something like, I have seen the Lord, and it's like, what more can you say to that? And that's how it's been, ever since He spoke to me. It hasn't always been easy, but it's been like, the entire time. When I was really struggling with depression, I had nothing to do with Him, and I blamed Him for it. It was like, it doesn't even make sense. I didn't want anything to do with Him, but He's also the reason why I'm suffering. But it's like I'm not even giving Him a chance. So this is for someone. He loves you. You are so beautiful, so perfect, the way that you are. And He wants you to invite Him into your heart if you haven't. Oh my gosh, I don't want to start crying too much, more than I have, but the other thing is, if you're hurting in the area of relationships, whether it be something that you had that failed, a prolonged season of singleness, whatever the case is, not only can the Lord turn that around for you, because he is the creator of all things. Oh my gosh, I'm so emotional. I did not expect this. He's the creator of all things, who makes things come to be with his words, his very words. If you're hurting in that area, I urge you to seek him, to give it to him. When he spoke to me, it was actually in the area of relationship. And it's so interesting because even though it was nice what he said, it was beautiful what he said, I wasn't close with him, so I didn't understand it. But I understood that voice. It was a voice that I had never heard before, and there was no way that I could prove that it was him. But I just knew. That day was such a beautiful day for me. It was also kind of scary, not gonna lie. I was like, oh my gosh, what did I just experience? But that is what he used to call me back to him, to get his attention, to get my attention towards him. And he's been using it ever since. This is why I come in here and talk about this. But if you're hurting in this area, he can turn it around for you. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds like, nah. He literally, I was reading Exodus, oh my gosh, what was it, 20 something. And it was so beautiful. This was highlighted by someone else, but the Israelites had just left Egypt, and he said something like, I'm going to take them around the long way, because if I take them the shorter way, oh shoot, what was it? Oh, they might get attacked, or they will get attacked, and they might go back into slavery. It was like, I know that might sound like, well, what does that have to do with anything? But it was so, like, considerate. Like, I was like, oh, wow. Like, he considered that, you know, physically they might have not been able to handle it, or emotionally they might not have been able to handle it, whatever the case is. And so often, so many of us will look at that like, well, why didn't you just make it so that they wouldn't get attacked or something like that? God is not trying to interfere with your free will. You have free will. We all have free will. That's why there's so much of the chaos that there is, because he's not intervening in every little situation. I'm not going to get into that because that's not what this is about, but his care and his concern and his love is gentle. Someone said he's a gentleman, and he's behind the scenes, but you have to be devoted to seeking him and his voice. Otherwise you'll miss it. But I just want to say, if you are hurting in the area of love, that had a lot to do with my depression. If you're hurting in the area of love, the Lord wants to bless you. That's another thing I don't think a lot of us realize. He wants to bless you because he sees you as his perfect child, his baby, literally. He wants to bless you. I have heard too many, actually not that many, but I've heard a few stories that were just so incredibly profound. And I believe he's writing me a really profound story, and I'm really excited to see how it turns out. But he already knows you, so he knows exactly what you want, what you like, or whatever. Doesn't mean you're going to necessarily get exactly what you want, but it will be perfect for you. He wants to heal that in you. He wants to heal that. He wants to give you who you need. Might not be who you want, but he wants to give you who you need. Please trust God. If you don't believe in him, he believes in you, so give him a chance. If you believe in him, but you feel like you've been hurt by him, he's not mad at you. You might be like, well, he wouldn't even want me back because I was... Lies of the enemy. He is not mad at you. He's hurt that you're hurt, and he's hurt that you're distanced, but he's not mad at you. God is a spirit, and he doesn't react emotionally. So this is for someone. I hope this helps. I hope this blesses someone. If you listen, thank you.